Good morning, folks. My name is Steve Rennie, and I am the Renman. And this show is called Renman Almost Live. Maybe never live again for reasons I'll explain here in a minute. If you don't know me, I started a little website a while back. It is called RenmanMusicandBusiness.com. That's what it looks like. You can learn from the smartest, most successful people in today's music business. That's what it says right there. Big part of that website was a web show called Renman Live. Let me give you a little hint of what that's all about. Where we had some of the smartest, most talented, most successful people in all of music join me right here in my office to talk about today's music business. And in the past, we did the show live, and people could call in from around the world on the phone or on Skype and so forth and get a chance to network and meet and talk with some of the guests we've had on the show. Sadly, I don't know if sadly, differently, in the past I had a whole team of people that helped me make all that happen, people that watched the chat board, that answered the phones, that did all the video switching and all that stuff. Today, you've got, let me see. You've got me right here. That's it. Just me soloing. It's like my solo acoustic tour, except I can't play. So I'm doing it all by myself now. Lots of stuff going on here. Let's go back to that thing here. This tells me what I'm doing. Computers that I show you little bits of graphics. This little puppy right here makes it all happen in my TV studio on wheels. In any event, I don't do that to gloat, but just to ask for your forgiveness up front for any faux pas that I might do. Because I no longer have an editor. I just do this start to finish, and it is what it is. So anyway, I hope you'll enjoy it today. I've got a couple things that I want to talk about. Today I'm going to share with you a couple important lessons that came to mind over the weekend from an online course that I started a while back. Let me show you that. It's called The Insider's Guide to Today's Music Business. And it's an online course I put together, 155 videos about all kinds of different subjects in the music business, from the big picture to making great music, treating your career as a business, building a professional team, you'll need to do that. Managers, of which I have some experience, both good and bad. Marketing, promotion, record labels, music publishing, touring, and how to get started. It's a great place to learn about the music business. So I'm going to give you a couple lessons out of that were stuck in my head from over the weekend. Let's see what else. In addition, I'm going to give you some thoughts on a couple of stories from the venerable Billboard magazine. Hey, I did that last week, and people really enjoyed it. And I love all the conversation, people jumping into the conversation. I think last week I was picking on Justin Bieber. Today, a couple other items a little bit more positive in nature there. Let's see what else. And finally, I'm going to tell you how to get your hands on another one of those fine RenmanMB tips from the pros. Last week we handed one out on how to write an email to professionals in the business, and I must have had 70 or 80 people email me and to get their hands on it. And I hope it helped those folks out, and was happy to meet some of those folks, and only to find out that many of them are not members of our site. So let's get after it so I can keep this short and sweet here. Let's see. This past weekend, as I mentioned, I was reminded of a couple important lessons that I cover in the course. One of them is this notion of making it personal, right? And this idea of making it personal is kind of becoming a lost art in today's. Let me get over on camera too, so you can look at my handsome mug. Here it is. The lesson is called Making It Personal. Let's go over here. See, and this is where I need that forgiveness. Oop, wrong one. And it's very simple. People, in the old days, having a personal touch used to be called having manners, was something to be admired. And today, it's becoming something of a lost art. And what I've found is over the years that people appreciate that personal touch. It actually can give you a competitive edge at times. Today, for artists out there, and for businesses as well, people want to feel a closer connection to their artists and the people that they're working with and giving their money to. And I think some of that's due to social media and the like, but it's something that's pervasive around what we go. I grew up in the business, sending a million, just a little note to thank you for meeting with me, just a little note to thank you for booking my band, just a little note for thank you for inviting me out to your fine golf course. And I got a lot of mileage out of that stuff. Today, in today's world, folks, you got all kinds of new tools to make it personal. And so you really have no excuse not to do that. So today I wanted to talk about how this all came to mind. We had a whole bunch of new members sign up here at RenmanMB over the last few months. And so I thought it would be a nice personal touch to actually do a Q&A with some of those new members out there and to talk with them, see if I could help them through some of any issues they were having with the course in their careers and so forth. So with the greatest of intent, I decided to have a live Q&A on this past Friday. And so lo and behold, as I got to my desk in the afternoon to prepare for the event, here's what greeted me. A note from my good friends, my buddies at the Ultimate Gatekeeper, YouTube. It says, access to live streaming is not currently available for this account. So I'm thinking, what the fuck is that all about, right? Well, it turns out it was because of a copyright infringement here, which reminded me of the second lesson, which is all about music publishing. We talked about that in our Insider's Guide. We got a whole section on music publishing and why it's important. Now, on the personal front, as I was trying to sort this problem out with YouTube, it became obvious that I was going to be dealing through emails and not a real person. If I had the opportunity to talk to a real person, I would have made note of the fact that the offending videos were actually 3 independent artists who I had played their music with their permission, although I didn't get it in writing and I didn't get the license and all that stuff, folks, you know, for any of you folks that think that that's not important. But the irony of it is that I was playing independent artist music for big-time A&R people in the business so that they could get a chance to connect and network with those folks and also get their music in front of people, which is difficult to do. My reward for that was, boom, suspension. I got 90 days in the hole, can't get a person on the line to help me out to save my ass, okay? And so if anybody YouTube's watching today, help me out, please. But it does point out an interesting business notion, right? However ironic it is that I'm getting thrown in the penalty box for trying to help some young independent artists without record deals. It only goes to show that the contract law, copyright law, the rights of songwriters and so forth is not something that is decided by your good intentions or you given extra points because of the irony of it all. It is what it is. And so the lesson I learned, and the lesson you folks should take to heart with this, is that you got to understand music publishing if you want to understand how to work in this business. And when you don't take the time to do that, or you understand it like myself and you just go, it's only 35 seconds and people are sitting right here, I don't have the time. Ultimately, you pay some price for that, and I'm hoping that my friends at YouTube will let me off the hook here. Okay. Let's see what else I've got here. Billboard news items, real quick here. There's some great stuff in Billboard magazine. As I told you, I love to read. On the cover of this week is the Metallica boys, right? And here, I just love the title. It says, "We've always been fucked, but we survived." You know, even Billboard, using that word. Here's the moral of the story for Metallica. You know, these guys have been around literally since I've been in the business. I can remember seeing them the first time they were opening for Ozzy Osbourne at the Long Beach Arena, and I watched James Hetfield crouch over that microphone and growl into that fucking thing, and I was scared fucking shitless just watching the guys, okay? And back then, they liked to knock a few beers and other stuff down, and so sometimes they could be a little surly, but they were a great band. Here's how you last long enough to get gray hair. And by the way, kudos, gentlemen, for not dyeing your hair, getting your face fixed or puffing your lips up. That's what we call growing old gracefully. They'll still be the hippest guys in the party. But if there's a lesson to be learned from Metallica, it's really simple. They've just kept showing up for 35 years to make music, whether they loved each other, whether they hate each other, whether they were pouring their heart out on on movies or growling or boozing or whatever it might be. They've had band members die, the whole package. They've just kept showing up, folks, and there's something to be said for showing up in this world that we live in. The story, though, that got my attention this week was kind of a boring one, I guess, unless you plan on making music a living, which would be most of the people watching these videos here today. The story was, has the music business really turned a corner? And it said in here, 2000 is the year recorded music appears to be turning a corner. The RIAA announced that recorded music generated 8.1% more revenue in the first 6 months of 2016 than 2015. And the reason they go on to talk about is because of streaming services and the like. So for you folks out there that loved your old LPs, that loved your CDs and all that stuff's going away. The digital sales are going away. People are moving towards streaming faster and faster. So my question for you folks today is, and what I'd like you to put down in the comment section is, I'd like to know how you folks are listening to music today. Are you listening to it by downloads? Are you still going and playing all your old LPs and so forth and so on? Or are you like me, a grizzly old veteran that went through every format in the world, and I'm quite happy just to have it stream at me. I listen in the car on XM radio. I'll put Spotify on here in the office. When I go to the golf course, we got Pandora streaming out there in certain places. So I'm interested to hear what you folks are doing. And I'm also interested to see if you agree with that story. Has the music business turned a corner? Now, I mentioned, I think it's turned a corner, by the way. Do I need to offer some editorial comment there, like I did with Justin? I actually do think it's turned a corner. I think more people are listening to music than ever, and that's a good thing. We're just getting paid in different ways, and that's fucked everybody up in the short term. But in the long term, as long as people are paying and enjoying these music services and the like, I think it's a great thing, and I actually think that the music business will be just fine in the end. Last week, I handed out, or gave people an opportunity to get a download of one of my tips from the pros, I call it. And last week's it was about writing an email to folks in the music business, and gave you some tips on how to do it. Like, as I mentioned earlier, lots of people took advantage of that and emailed me to get a copy of it. This week, we're going to do a little bit of a follow-up. It's called The Art of Networking. And in this little PDF I'm going to send you, there'll be some links to some of the people that we've had on our Renman live show in the past. We've got musician Blasco, who's been out with Ozzy Osbourne for years. Talks about the importance of networking from a musician's point of view. Aaron Bay Shook, big-time A&R guy, talks about how he used networking to move his career along. And then one of my favorites, a gal by the name of Jody Gerson. He's one of those powerful people in the whole music business. She runs Sony ATV Music Publishing, and she's got some wonderful thoughts on how she used personal touch and networking skills to get where she's going. If you want a copy of that, I suggest you send me an email at Renman, R-E-N-M-A-N, at RenmanMB.com. If you send the note and join our little website, I'll be happy to send you that download your way. So if you want to keep up to speed, I should say. Faux pas, sorry, no editing. This is live, folks. I'm doing my live record here. You can watch our channel on YouTube, RenmanMB.com. If you want to keep in touch and you like mindless dribble, that's horrible. Everything in 140 characters didn't hold Donald Trump back, won't hold me back. Connect with us at twitter.com/RenmanMB. And then my favorite place to go, I might be going there more frequently with Facebook Live now that I've been banned from YouTube. You can be our friend on Facebook at facebook.com/RenmanMB. All right, that's it for this week's segment. Apologize for the faux pas, and hopefully I'll get inspired enough to do another one of these next week. Thanks for putting in your comments. Feel free to put in your comments below on whether you think the music business is getting better, what you think about Metallica, or whatever's on your mind, folks. For all you folks out there in America that haven't voted, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's up to you. You'll figure that out. Go out and vote. It's important stuff here. My name is Steve Rennie. I am the Renman, and that is the official end of our almost Renman Live. See you.